Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on the She Said show. And tonight, we are very, very honored to have with us none other than the Secretary of Education. Medyo mahirap imbitahin, but we're really glad that he was able to fix his very, very busy schedule and to be here with us tonight. So, she said, before I introduce his name, she said that all the heads of the Department of Education have only kind words to say about him.
Yes. And she said he's her most brilliant living uncle.
Oh, huh? Okay.
Living. And she will support him all the way.
Okay. She always puts me in trouble, so I also do the same. Anyway, my uncle, Jesli Aquino Lapus, is here. Thank you very much, the Secretary of Education.
My pleasure to be here in your show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cutie.
You know what? Yesterday I was talking to some DepEd officers, and this is what they had to say about you. So, Mrs. Norma Fetaala, from Assistant Principal of Mabala Elementary School, said, "Action agad." That's how she describes you. And
good research.
Yeah, imagine this yesterday. Dr. Carmencita De Mampo said, she's the Region 7 director, said effective and efficient.
Talaga.
I told them just describe him in one word. All of them were adding more than one word. So Dr. Arances, School Division Superintendent of Cebu City, said effective. See, they all agree, effective. And Mrs. C, District Supervisor, said he means what he says. So imagine 100%. I mean, everyone I asked about you had only fantastic words for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. They are all from Cebu, right?
And they're all from Cebu, but that means that, you know, I was asking random people, so that's kind of good.
And
Usually,
they didn't even know that he was going to be your guest. I mean, they just said that he was like this about him.
Yeah, I said, so what do you think about the secretary? And so that's what they said. So
I'm glad that that's verified, because Pulse Asia, the latest Pulse Asia survey showed the DepEd to have the highest public approval rating among all government agencies. And that's not easy to achieve, considering that education mirrors society. All the problems of society you can find in the schools, right?
Right.
So if you ask the man in the street about what they can say about, for example, NEDA, and they will say, well, masarap po ba yun? Because it does
they won't know,
it does not affect their day-to-day life.
Yes.
But when you say, what can you say about DepEd? Aba, kung ano-ano nang lalabas dyan. They will say, well, the teacher of my daughter or my granddaughter is a witch. Or is so scary, is strict, and the classrooms are crowded, and mostly negative things. So we have not solved all the problems of education, as no country in the world. I sit in the UNESCO board. I was elected as member of the executive board of UNESCO in Paris. And we compare notes, all the ministers of education. And you know what? Every nation, even the most developed, are catching up with technology, with demands of the workplace, with values decay, with so many social problems. This is why education is a never-ending challenge. No?
Yes.
So for people to say they approve of, of what we're doing means that they are seeing a lot of activity.
Yes.
They're seeing a lot of activity in the barangay.
The first one, it says action agad.
Action
so
agad.
so you know, so many people have many things to say about their jobs and agencies. And some people just talk about it, the others listen to it but don't do anything about it. But here it says action agad, that means you do something about their concerns.
Because there's a lot to be done, and there's not enough time.
Yes.
Because there has been an accumulation of problems over the decades, no?
Yes.
Our economy has been, from the time of President Marcos to Aquino, Ramos, era, the economy has been on a boom and bust. And that reflects, because education, DepEd accounts for 1/3 of the entire republic, with almost 600,000 employees, and is responsible for some 20 million school children. So that's really the crux of your population is under our care. So it's a pretty. I've lost some 20 pounds on this job.
Really?
That's the effectiveness, and that's the action I got. That's the price.
Effectiveness, yeah.
That's the price. Yeah.
Okay, can I just say that a few months back, I was able to visit the DepEd office in Quezon City, and we were in the office of Miss Teresita Domalanta, and I was very impressed because as soon as we entered in the gate, the guard was very polite. And it's not really likely to go to a government office and you have a polite guard. He was really, really polite, and he let us in. And then, when I looked, there was like space to park. There were nice trees. Everything was clean. You know, there was a garden. Everything was clean. And when I looked at the building, it really looked new and newly painted. Well, it looked like a new building. So when we went upstairs, I think I passed in the wrong, I was on the wrong side of her office. So there was this guy who came up to me and asked me where I was going. And I said, I was going to the office of Teresita Domalanta. I said, oh, dito po. And then he even escorted me to her room. And when I got to her room, I saw that everything was so clean. And they didn't have very expensive things, but you could see they were simple but nice and beautiful. And she was very nice, and her secretaries were very nice. And I was impressed that it was a government office, but it looked like a home that was really taken care of.
Well, Director Domalanta is responsible for the biggest region.
Yes.
That's the NCR.
Yes.
That's the National Capital Region.
So she
And
was
she's
very
very
nice.
competent, and she's retiring next year.
Ah, really?
Yes.
Well, I'm blessed to have met her. So hi, Tita Teresita.
Me naman, I'm really impressed that I'd go to the graduations in like the public schools, even all the way up in the mountain barangays, and their English is superb.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even feel bad about giving a speech in English because I know they're gonna totally understand.
Yeah.
Like
So
almost
it's
with
really
an
different
accent.
now.
Yeah, it's really changed.
And this
by
is in
leaps and
Cebu.
bounds. This is in Cebu.
And
the
they-
mountain barangays where we don't even have
Yes,
signal
yes.
sometimes. Yeah.
Wow, I'm really impressed. Okay.
Well, public education standard has been improving, and in fact, there's not that much difference now
With public and private.
in public and private. I was going to say, because there is a national achievement test that is being conducted yearly among grade 6 students and among second year high school, and we're able to compare. And so some people are saying, you know, the difference of 7% is not worth 100,000 pesos
Yes.
per year.
Yes.
You know?
That's true.
It's also partly because the public school teachers in the provinces are paid higher than
Yes.
the private school teachers. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah, that's what we always tell them during graduation.
You know why?
Oh.
Why?
That doesn't mean that they are paid well.
Yes.
I mean that it is the desired pay.
Yes.
There is still short of becoming the preferred profession, and teaching should be the preferred profession.
Yes.
Otherwise, we don't get the best and brightest to handle our children.
That's
Exactly.
Right? Because the private salary levels are determined by regional wage boards, and different regions have different minimum wages. So in the provinces, the private
see.
salaries and wages are lower than NCR. But in DepEd, being a national department, the salary level is the same across the board, nationwide.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Okay, actually, I want to know more about you as a person. Okay, like how did you start? Like I wanted to know what you took up in college. What were your, dreams?
Well, I was, some people approach me and say, Secretary, you were probably a nerd. You were probably a genius when you were in grade school, etc.
Do you think it's a compliment or an insult when they tell you that?
No, but they stereotype.
Right.
Like your Secretary of Education, you're supposed to be
No, but you're
a pedantic.
cool.
You're supposed to be a square,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
cool,
Nerd,
not a
yeah.
regular guy.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the gallery, they said, Secretary, you should be more conservative because you're Secretary of Education. I said, I beg your pardon? The gallery of past secretaries, I said, you should be able to tell this particular person was probably secretary in 2000, not in 1932.
Yeah.
You want all of us to look like that? Diba? Sabi ko, I'd like to, just with my photograph, I'd like to be able to say that I associated with my clientele during my time.
Yes. So
So they say, you want to have a tattoo or what? I said, don't be surprised if it happens.
but you weren't a nerd.
No, I surprised them and I said, you won't believe it. I said, my average grade in grade 6 was 76.
Really? Because of what subject?
And if my mother was not very generous to the German nuns, it was really 74.
Where did you study?
Just a joke.
No, I grew up with the German nuns, with the
Right.
Holy Spirit nuns in our hometown in Concepcion. But that was considered
a
one of the
serious
best. Yeah, it's a true story. It's
I
considered
can't
one.
tell when he's joking anymore,
No,
right?
I'm
He's
not.
like so poker face, the colorless of the country, and it's just like a face, like no expression.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I was. I guess I was awakening every year, because on my first year of high school, my average was already 92, and
So
there
why
was
did
no
you get a
generosity
70s?
involved
This
there.
is elementary.
Grade school.
Elementary.
Elementary,
elementary.
I was still playful, but I was a stamp collector, and I keep saying, if you collect stamps, all the subjects in school are captured in stamps, and because it's artistic, it is art, it is pictures, then a child gets interested, and then it leads him to read more. It leads him to the library.
Where is your stamp collection now?
That's not what happened to my stamp collection. I gave it away. I had 3 albums.
Oh,
Well, good for the
I
person
didn't
who
have the
received
same.
it.
Of course, as you grow up, you change your collection.
What kind of
right?
stamps naman did you collect?
I had really nice ones too. Anyway, but yeah.
I tried to collect until
Yeah.
mga 20.
Where is it? I know.
I don't know. I stopped.
Somewhere. We should just give it to him.
But you'll have to agree with me, right? I mean, anything that's worth commemorating is depicted in stamps. Independence Days,
And or coins.
battles,
Yes.
flowers,
The flags. Yes, yes.
sports.
Right.
So all the subjects, history, biography,
yeah,
biology, zoology,
so the
it's all there.
stamps awakened your desire to learn?
Oh yeah, you're a kid and then you see a stamp. It says Helvetia, and you go to your teacher.
What?
Miss, what country? Where is Helvetia? She says, there's no such country. We have a complete list there on the wall. There's no Helvetia. So you say, but I got this on a letter. It's stamped, postage stamp. So you research and you find out that's the name for Switzerland. And your teacher doesn't know it.
So you go back to your teacher and say,
No,
teacher,
and then you
You're
research.
fired.
No, and then you research. Why was it called Helvetia? And then you start to research. For example, Magyar Posta. Then you go back to your teacher again. Ma'am, Miss, where's Magyar? There's no such thing. You keep asking me for this wrong thing. And it's like Hungary.
Hungary. Well, I'm glad I wasn't your teacher then.
No, he probably made the teachers feel really dumb, right?
That's why.
But then you get really curious. So I started wearing glasses not because I was studious, but because I was very serious in stamp collecting, and it taught me, I think, a lot more things than what they taught in school.
I believe that though.
Yeah,
I
I
believe
do.
a lot of education is learned outside, traveling.
Outside, yes.
Yeah.
This is why my There's a fantastic book now on Philippine stamps from the beginning. It took 8 years to write.
Compile.
It's a coffee table book. And it's my giveaway. It's,
Where?
Thank you very much. No,
I'll send one to you. But you know,
but we're two.
with photographs, that means that, you know, they had to go to some museums in Europe just to take photograph of a stamp, the first stamp issued in the Spanish regime. And do you know the first basketball stamp in the world was Philippine, a Philippine stamp
Really?
in 1912.
Okay, so
1912.
Cutie and I don't live together, so we have two coffee tables separately.
Separate, yeah.
So we need two books.
I have more than two.
Great. And not only that, for those people who are watching, now you know what to gift the secretary, because it's always hard. Like, it's Christmas, and like, what can I gift the secretary?
Somebody who has
Hey,
everything.
but like you, I've stopped collecting.
Oh, you stopped collecting.
So you have
What
the
happened?
When I
collection.
became a teenager, I started collecting other things.
Like, you must
Okay.
wanna-
Like what you started to collect.
I started collecting stationery. What did you collect?
in high school?
Yeah.
Boys.
You collected boys?
Hey, don't say that, huh? Okay. No, they collected me.
No, God.
So okay, don't tell my mom and dad.
No,
Yeah,
seriously.
you're on the
So
air. Yeah.
you stopped collecting coins. I mean, stamps after high school.
Yeah, I started coins.
And you started coins
And
and
then
you
I
stopped.
stopped. You know, you start going for more value. But
like okay, humans are more valuable
More
than
valuable things like coins.
no,
You can
later on,
sell.
later on,
But what
watches,
about stamps?
watches.
Oh.
I see.
So where is your
horology.
stamp collection?
I still have some of it, but the ones that I thought were very valuable, I
Museum.
kept in a special place. And those are the ones I can't find anymore because in the meantime,
So
you've-
because
in the meantime you've changed like
Homes.
homes
yeah.
9 times. You've
Yeah, but
traveled.
you hide them so well that you
You can't
yourself can't
find
find
it.
I'm also